All right, so I have an interesting little play here. I think it's pretty good for education, if not necessarily, that good for some profits. Sometimes there's just a good setup that allows me to teach why it's so advantageous to have a small account as opposed to having a big account. A lot of you guys with 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 to your name, you think that it's a big disadvantage. You think that, you can't compete when in fact you can actually grow your account faster because of your small size. And as several of my top students have learned, Tim Grittani, 1,500 into 2.7 million now in 4 years. Azamjan, 2,000 into what he's nearly like 300,000. Um, my 12,000 into 1.65 million in my first 4 years. Small trades and small accounts are good. I know it's tough to understand that. I know you want to be a millionaire right away, but if you start small, it forces you to take trades that big accounts don't. This is not a trade for a big account. This is MSRT. This is a 20-day chart. You can see it was uptrending nicely from 1 to 150, had some nice consolidation, and now it's getting close to its 3-week highs again. Here it is at 146, 147. I bought in at 140 today, so I'm up 6 cents. It's been a few hours. I'm not selling. I'm not looking for 6 cents. I like dip buying stocks that can run and can continue to break out. So I would not be chasing this at 152, 153, 154 because then you don't know if the breakout is going to continue. You're risking a double top. But what I bought it at was basically where, it was already up on the day. It was already record volume, but I'm buying it here on the dip, and it had already broken past this key resistance here at 136. And the other day, the high was 138-ish. So it had already had some chop. You have to go back and look at past time frames, 136, 138. So it's a breakout. Now the question is, can it break this 152, 154 area? I'm in no rush. I don't want it to break or even try to break today. This could be a play for the week or at least for tomorrow. I'll probably hold this overnight would be my guess since it's holding near its highs. Tomorrow should be the day that it should test this 152, 153, 154 level. And then if it breaks out, then you have some upside and resistance here in the 170s. So why will it keep going? First of all, you have huge volume. Okay, so this is record volume. You can see the last time it had this volume was right here on this green day. It traded 1 million shares right here at 164. Look what it did the next day. It went up to 231. Okay, well, I guess it's the same kinds of, the volume is these 2 days. I mean, I can't really tell which day is which, but the point is that it was breaking out here and on strong volume, it continued. So this was a big green day, and then it had a big second green day. Here it had a big green day and only like a little bit of a second green day. But today the volume is big, so that makes me think that tomorrow, which will be a possible or probable second green day, could be this kind of a move as opposed to an up 2 or 3 cents move, because again we're set up nicely for a potential breakout. So normally I wouldn't say buy a dollar stock. This is a weed stock. It's like I guess you would call it Facebook for weed, for potheads. So it's kind of sketchy. There are questions. Today, for example, there was, oh, I should mention this. This is in 4 days now, my 35th birthday. I'm giving you a big gift, a free webinar. It's only going to be one time, no archive, no recording. You're either in or you're out. I want students who can, commit to something. So April 15th, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's a Friday night. I'm asking you to give up some of your Friday night, but I'm giving up my birthday, so I think it's a fair deal. So I'll put the link on this, if you're interested. Basically, it's this timothysykes.com/35th-birthday-webinar. But this is what I wanted to show you. So this is the Forbes article. So they also have a catalyst. They filed to be the first cannabis stock on the NASDAQ, and it already has 27,342 views. If I reload it, it's probably even more, 23,504. So it's getting some solid views. This came out this morning, and it's all about, they're an online community for people that smoke pot. It has 775,000 users and 380,000 followers on Instagram. I mean, I have more followers. I have nearly double the followers on Instagram. So I don't know if that's very useful. But when they filed to go on the NASDAQ, they also filed to raise money. This is an S1. This came out today. So a lot of people are asking me about this. You know, when you file an S1, this is basically an SEC filing. If you watch my Learn How to Read SEC Filings DVD, this is a filing where they're trying to raise money. Normally that's a bad thing, but when you have a weed company that's trying to, you know, look or go legitimate, it's a good thing because there is going to be a lot of money to be made, you know, in the weed industry if you can be legitimate. The problem is there's so many sketchy companies, so many crooks. So the fact that they're filing to go on the NASDAQ, they think they have what it takes to be legitimate. So that's a good catalyst. It doesn't matter whether they're going to raise 5 million, 10 million, 20 million. They have their house in order, or they're claiming to. You know, they can always get rejected by the NASDAQ. But the fact that they're stepping up and saying, you know, we're going to try and get on the NASDAQ to be the first weed listed, you know, that will be a very positive development. The cool thing about the filing is that we won't know for several weeks if they get it or not. So normally, you know, I don't like guessing games because they easily could get rejected just because of their, you know, relationship with a kind of quasi-legal drug that's only legal in some states and not federal. But this is a catalyst right now. And the fact that they're even filing it makes you and me, the investors, realize that they think they have what it takes to make it. It's still to be determined. It'll be determined in a few weeks, but I'm also encouraged by this. So they talk about their business, but this graph is really beautiful. This is MassRoots user growth. And every single month, you know, it's very solid. And right here, you can see here for 4 months, the growth was very minimal because it wasn't available in the App Store. Apple actually took them out. And the Forbes article that I'll link after this video lesson talks about that. And that could happen again. So there are risks because, you know, again, they're associated with weed. But I like the growth, you know, and you can't argue the fact that there are people interested in this and the volume. I mean, it's just holding right near its highs. I have a lousy few thousand shares, so it's not like I'm like, oh my God, bet the farm on this. But the point is that it has a good catalyst. It has a good price action. And look at this, 10,000 bidder right now. I might add to my position too. I don't know. I'm filming this at roughly 3 p.m. Eastern. But I wanted to get this in, you know, this video lesson done when it was in the 140s in case it tests the 150s later today, because I don't think that this is a good stock to chase. But, you know, I got in when I recognized the trend. I mean, it was already uptrending quite nicely when I bought in. I bought in right around in here. You know, it already had the uptrend. It already had the breakout. It already had the volume. I mean, somebody just bought 50,000 shares right in here, and now it's holding near its highs. So this is a very good educational example. Am I going to make much money from this? No. At best, I'm going to make a few $100s. So don't think like, oh, Sykes is pumping this. He wants it to go to $1 million. No. It's a very structured play where you or me or anybody with a small account, you know, this year I'm trading with just 12,000, although it is up to 22,000 now. You know, you buy, the goal is to buy 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 shares here in the 130s or 140s and look for it to retest the highs in the 150s. If it double tops, so be it. If it breaks out, even better. But it's got a positive catalyst. It's got positive price action. And, you know, that's all you can ask for. So watch MSRT and learn from it. Thank you.